This is Art Talk with April, an artist podcast where we meet artists from all around the southeastern states. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Art Talk with April. Today we have Kris BlitzShelledy, and she's an artist that I have connected with through, I believe, ALWCA, right? We're both members of that. So how did you get started in making art? Is this something that you've been doing all your life or started doing, later on? What's your story there?
Very later on. I actually, after we moved to the Huntsville area, I had gone to a meeting at the downtown Huntsville library.
Yeah.
And in the large conference room, there was a display on the wall, and I didn't know anybody. So I got busy kind of looking around and was fascinated with this abstract art and thought, okay, I got to figure out what this is. It just had me very interested. And I'm not an artist. I mean, well,
you are.
I guess I am.
Officially.
But that was something, I just didn't spend a lot of time on,
You were more of a business kind of management person. Yeah.
So that didn't mean I didn't like crafts and things like that. But I didn't spend a lot of time on that. But the exhibit really had my attention. So after I got done with the meeting, got back home, started researching abstract art. And I kept coming up with what looked like it was fluid art. And I thought, well, there were all kinds of videos on YouTube and all these fabulous artists. And I just became obsessed almost. And I was watching videos. I bet I watched thousands and thousands of videos before I did anything. And then I finally got the courage that was in 2019 that I started watching. I bought some supplies later that year. Didn't know what to do with them, kept watching videos. And April of 2020, I finally got the courage to try. So I set up in one of our bedrooms and
wow. Yeah.
But
I'm so curious about what the process there is. Like, what is the typical process for doing something like that? Do you have to like what surface do you use? And then do you have to set up your area a certain way
You need to be prepared for the biggest mess you'll ever. I had paint running down my arm.
Oh my goodness.
I was wearing it. And that was trying to be careful too. You can pretty much paint on anything. I would buy inexpensive canvases and try the different techniques. There's so many different techniques with it. And so I started out with just, small canvases. I'd buy an economy pack that would have maybe 5 or 6. And I kept going. And then that October, I had bought some of the pumpkins. Mm-hmm. Buy those pumpkins. And so I painted on those.
Oh, wow.
And that was fun. I'm not really doing that anymore. I've kind of moved on to some other things, but just fascinated me. But there's a lot to know, and consistency is of most important. Ensure your paints are mixed well, and, just a lot of things involved. But for somebody that's very much a perfectionist, it works for me because it's forgiving, but it's also, I can accept the fact that I don't have full control over it.
Yeah, interesting.
Because I could never brush paint, detail, like take a picture of something and try to paint it.
Yeah.
I'm too detailed, and I would never know when to stop touching it.
Oh, yeah. I have.
But
so you mentioned that you don't do that much anymore. What are you doing now? What is your...
Well, I'm still working with acrylics.
Sure, yeah.
Acrylic paint, acrylic inks, and stains.
Yeah.
And so in fact, I just started doing that this year.
Oh, wow.
So I've kind of switched gears a little bit, and I'm really, really liking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I am with it.
So how is that a different process for you than the fluid inks is like you're pouring. Right.
Well, it's not always pouring.
Okay.
But it's, there's different techniques. You put your paint on your canvas. And one of my favorites was the swipe technique and blending your colors together. And a lot of the the fluid art is about creating the cells.
Oh, yeah. So the little
The lacing in the cells, right. And, when I first started, I hear people talk about putting oil in your paint.
Yeah.
That would create cells.
Yeah.
I tried it once, but then I found out that then after it dries, you have to wash your paint, your canvas, to get that oil off of it because
Oh, wow.
so I thought I'm not going to mess with that. So I didn't continue with that part. But there's a ring pour, and then there's a flip cup, and where you'd layer different colors in a cup, and you would flip that over onto your canvas, and then pull the cup off, and then manipulate the paint on the canvas across to cover the canvas. So there's all kinds of different things you can do. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you all the techniques because I haven't tried them all, but this is one of my favorites, one of my earlier ones.
Yeah. I love that. It's like, is that some flecks of gold up there?
It is. But this is done with a funnel cup.
Oh my goodness.
It's 4 colors.
Yeah.
It's a burgundy, and then kind of a maroon, or not quite as dark, and then black, and then the gold. And you paint your outer parts of your canvas because you don't want any of the white to show through. So you canvas a little bit, and then you would put your funnel cup on there, and you just start pouring your different colors in it, and then you pull it, and then but it's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh, that is so fascinating.
Oh, so
it's all about experimenting, isn't it? And just trying it.
It is. But when you start to see some really nice results,
it gets exciting.
You don't want to stop.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, I've got to go to the art store and buy some more inks.
Those are done with acrylic paints. That was done.
Oh, yeah.
That was acrylic paints.
Awesome.
So now, have you done fluid art at all?
I haven't. It makes me nervous.
Well, don't let it. Don't let it. Seriously, don't let it intimidate you. If you wanted to try, I would be happy to walk you through every bit because it's really very rewarding.
Oh, that's fun.
And very rewarding.
Oh, yeah. See, I hadn't realized that. I don't know. And I've seen people doing it online. It became very popular at one point. It was everywhere. And I have seen people do all of those different techniques, but I hadn't realized that's what I was looking at,
Right. It's fluid art. People will say, oh, it's paint pour, but the pouring part is, just part of it. There's more to it than that. So I just call it fluid art.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's very forgiving. So let's say you've done something and you're going, oh, I absolutely hate that. Mm-hmm. Just scrape it. You can scrape it all back into the middle of the canvas and just add more color and then start over.
Oh, interesting.
Or you can save your paint and then use that as like a base coat. And then, there's a lot of different things you can do. It was fun. I did enjoy it, but I am right now, I think I found my niche.
Yeah. So what are you doing now specifically? Like what kind of process?
Well, working with primarily the inks and the stains, so it's very fluid. It's very thin. Can I show you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then I do have one textured piece, which is probably my favorite textured piece. Ooh. And this actually has been in exhibits.
Wow, I love that. Now, how did you create that one?
Well, I have kind of what I call a spiral series, but this isn't the spiral, but I just modeling paste, and then I just kind of texturized it, to make it look rough, and then took my acrylic paint and I made it very thin, very, very thin. And then I just would place where I wanted it and then kind of darkened it on the inside a little bit to give it some shadow, more depth. But
it's so interesting.
And what I had also had done with some of the texture pieces, I used to get leaves out of my front garden too. And I would take a leaf and I would press it into it.
Yeah.
So it would be on there. And then I would paint it because just so there was something kind of hidden on there that wasn't real noticeable. So several of my pieces have a hidden leaf or two on it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm using nature.
Yeah.
So
that's lovely. I love that.
I just go out in my garden and I clip some things and come in and I put some ink stain on it and put it on the canvas. Actually, this is a wood cradle board.
Yeah, I love that. That's
You
amazing.
prep your surface and then you just, I don't know, you could call it stamping or.
Sure. I've never seen anything like that. That's amazing. So are you primarily doing that in that way where you're finding nature and then putting the inks on there?
So, that's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And then I do these here. These are what I call these my petites.
Oh.
6 canvas, and then they're framed with a mahogany frame.
Oh, wow.
It's just a leaf.
Yeah.
And then,
Love that. That is so neat.
It doesn't always come out perfect. Did I show you that one? These are where I paint. I usually put white, kind of a titanium white, and then also a pearl white and brush it over it. And then I put my paints on there in just various design. And then I have another canvas that also has the whites on it. And then I sandwich them.
Really?
And put them apart.
Wow. That is so amazing. That is awesome. I love that.
So that's something that I still do and I like doing. But
do you have sort of a color palette in mind when you start doing that?
That's where I struggle.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's either I'm using too many colors or very similar colors that it doesn't stand out. Just prep the canvas. And what I do with this is I just put some white paint down and then I spritz it with some stain. Just take the leaves. I mean, this here one, I think it was actually an oak tree.
Oh, okay.
Growing in my garden. And I just put different colors on the leaves and then put it face down on there.
Wow.
And then put some weight. I put some parchment paper over it and then put some weight on it.
Oh.
And then take it off. And
I love that. That is so amazing. I love that color and everything is so good.
I just made that yesterday. But, it's fun, art. Okay, I didn't show you these, but these are ornaments, porcelain ornaments, and that's what I call a Tiffany style, like a Tiffany lamp.
Oh, yeah.
That's with alcohol inks.
Oh, okay.
We talked about that.
Yeah. So those are is it like a glass ornament or a plastic? It's porcelain. That's right. You just said that, porcelain. Where do you get porcelain ornaments from like that?
Online. You could probably use any kind of ink. I use alcohol inks on there, and then I use it's kind of a dauber type thing. It's got kind of a cotton or a felt pad.
Yeah.
And you put the inks on there.
It just stains it like that?
You have to seal it.
Oh.
But they stay on there, but they're just, the alcohol inks they're so vibrant. They don't fade. They just don't fade.
I love that. That is so cool.
Here, show you.
But, look at that one.
See it?
Oh, that's lovely.
You see the gold in there?
Yeah.
That is done with plastic wrap.
Wow, interesting.
Put a piece of plastic wrap in front of you.
Yeah.
Put your ink on the plastic and then set your ornament on that and wrap it around it. Yeah.
So do the inks, when they dry, do they still represent what they look like when they were wet, or they
sometimes, depending on the color, depends on how pigmented it is, I guess. They do kind of dry a little bit dull.
Oh, interesting.
Because of the inks, you can't just use a spray varnish to seal it, which would enhance it, but it reactivates the inks.
So, no.
So this is called a micro glaze, kind of like a wax.
Yeah.
Well,
a wax, is it waxy?
You could use a paper towel.
Oh. And when you put it on there, it doesn't smear. It just makes the light shine out.
It brings it does it kind of like a polish. But it's a water resistant sealer.
Well, that is really interesting because I've had that problem. I like to draw with ink. Do you think it would do the same sort of thing? Like if you put it on paper,
you can use it.
It doesn't I guess it's so hard for me to believe that it wouldn't smear or it wouldn't move the ink.
I would make sure that your inks are dry. I usually try to give them several days to a week to really set.
Yeah.
Because sometimes inks seem still kind of tacky. some of them.
Yeah.
So, and what you can also do with that, you could also take like a piece of parchment paper and lay it on top and just kind of helps press it into place.
Interesting. So when you do that and you put this on there, this wax, is that considered like your finishing? Do you don't put anything else on top of that?
I haven't. No, I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. I'm asking for myself.
No, that's okay. No, I see. That's what one of the things I really have enjoyed about this art journey is being able to help other people, or something I've learned, or my trials and errors. Helping them maybe avoid those.
Absolutely. I think that can be one of the hardest parts, is to be experimenting and then really mess something up that you were like really excited about.
You took a picture.
Yeah. That's when I don't know, it happens. It just does. And you have to be kind of resilient and just move on from it and keep going.
Yeah. Yes. A disappointment, like, oh, great. If I had just not touched it again.
Yeah. If I just didn't do that one more thing, then it would have been okay.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
You have to forgive yourself.
Yeah, really. And kind of let things go and think, okay, well, I'll be able to reuse this canvas, whatever. I can make it into something else, or, oh, that's so fun. I think, and we've talked about this previously, getting out there, like going from the making to setting up a booth or a table can be so intimidating. To go from it feels like such a huge jump, I think, for a lot of people, to take that leap and just do it, So what was your experience when you set up for the first time at Low Mill at that Saturday market? Did everything go smoothly, or did you?
It just was really, really nice. I mean, we enjoyed it, and
it was low pressure, I think. It was.
Yeah, I think so. I think the pressure is more that we put on ourselves, but because my husband is so easy to work with, that helps keep me calm. Not, we'll figure it out. We both kind of have that same mindset that, okay, well, this happened. Okay, we'll figure this out. Oh, we forgot that. Okay, well, if we're in town, he'll say, I'll run home and get it. And, we try not to let panic set in.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because I don't know about you, but being in a sort of sales environment and being able to not be nervous, and you're selling something that you made, and you're like you're not necessarily confident that it's going to be received well and that people are going to be interested, and there's all this nervousness kind of underneath the surface of things. It's good if you can go and have support with you and be able to,
definitely
try to get through that. So did you have any issues with that as far as like speaking to people and selling and things of that nature?
Well, I think when you're talking about something that it helps you a little bit better in talking with people. I would have people come up, and lots of people would come up and say, I've tried that, but my stuff doesn't come out like this.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I even had other vendors that that's what they were selling, would come over, and then they would ask me. And so I felt like I was giving lessons, but I want them to enjoy. I really enjoy the painting. I never thought I would find something that would capture me as much as I have with this. It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Selling all kinds of different things. And so it's just a really good place to get started. And then someone had said something one of my neighbors had said something about Panoply, which is a very large, I don't know if it's the largest one in Alabama or one of the largest ones.
Yeah.
Run by Arts Huntsville, which they're a wonderful organization. I applied and I got in.
Oh, wow.
So, I was thrilled, because they say most people don't get in on the first try.
Wow.
So they must have thought, okay, she's a new person, let's see what she's got.
Yeah.
But that was very exciting. In fact, one of the board members even purchased one of my pieces. So
Oh, that's exciting.
that was very exciting, and then we did Montesano and then Kris Kindle Market. That was the first year it was at the Orion Amphitheater.
Yeah.
So it's been, we're having the time. Well, I'm having the time of my life. I'm not so sure about my husband, but he has been extremely supportive and he seems to be enjoying it.
Yeah.
He's responsible for the setting up the tent and I help, but he's the mastermind behind all that.
Yeah. So then you have your market. Are you doing any kind of other sort of thing like a gallery space or shops? How are you handling that?
Well, I have been in 2 galleries. I'm still in one in Mentone. It's the Little River Art Council Gallery and in Mentone. And I've done the Huntsville Hospital shows the last 3 years.
Okay.
And also,
is that with the ALWCA that you did that? Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And then I've also done Carnegie Visual Art Center as Embracing Art in the spring. And I've done that for 4 years now.
Wow.
And let's see what else. The Shoals Art Invitational, UNA in Florence. They had one. I submitted 3 pieces. You were allowed to submit 3 pieces. I submitted 3 and they accepted all 3.
Wow. Oh, that's wonderful.
And I did one in Omaha, Nebraska, too, which is where I'm from, or Joslyn Castle. They also have the Joslyn Art Museum, which is really a cool place.
I think it's so inspirational to be able to pick something up like that and to keep learning and keep experimenting with it, and then to move, to those places where you're setting up a market and then you're getting into spaces. So were you primarily applying for calls of art in those situations, or were you approaching the galleries themselves, or was it part of like a club sort of thing? Or
no, the galleries came to me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
you don't hear that very often.
Well, I don't know. I think maybe somebody else may have told them you should call me or something. I don't know. Reach out to me.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
But Carnegie Visual Arts Center, that was also Call for Art, I think, through Alabama Women's Caucus for Art. I think they had, they would announce that there'd be calls. I enjoyed the jury process, I guess, the challenge of, submitting and then being invited. I find that fascinating and fun. It's disappointing at times too when you don't get invited, but it's been fun.
Yeah. So when you have found these open calls or calls for art and you apply and everything, what is your process? I feel like a lot of people aren't necessarily familiar with the process of submitting something, like taking images of your artwork and, having like an artist statement and things of that nature. Did you already have those things, or
no? That's been an interesting part of this too, because I struggle with self-promotion, and so that part has been hard. The photographing my work hasn't been an issue, but the artist statement and the bio and stuff, that's not been easy for me.
Which you do photography too, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. So you probably were prepared for that part of it.
There's a lot I can learn too, but at least I have the equipment to take the pictures, and most of the time I'm just using my cell phone, but knowing how to square it and try to get it, and then also knowing how to, I guess, enhance, the photos, because sometimes the lighting just isn't going to work.
What has been your biggest struggle or success as being an artist nowadays?
Well, let's see. Well, the self-promotion is not an easy thing. Coming up with titles for your pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a hard thing. I don't, sometimes it'll just come, that you're going, I know what I'm going to call that. And then there's other times I just have to look at it and, it's kind of like naming a baby.
Yeah.
You either know or you have to see the baby.
Do you make like a list of titles and you're like,
yeah, what does this remind me of? And then, and I know I'll see artists that'll ask people online, what should we call this? What should I call it? Ask other suggestions. Well, I don't want to ask because I don't want to disappoint somebody that I didn't pick theirs.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So if I don't, then I just do it myself. Usually I can come up with something, but that's been kind of a struggle. But successes, I think my greatest success for me has been when I finally let go of that I have to follow the rules. That nobody's watching me. My work isn't being graded. If I want to put 3 different kinds of mediums together, then I'm going to do it. That I can do what I want. I don't have to follow the rule book and maybe that's partly too being self-taught, not having the rules already ingrained in me.
Yeah, that's good.
But when I first started, it's like, okay, I've got to do this. I got to do it just like that. Because I am kind of follow the rule kind of person.
Yeah.
But when I let go, that's when I started feeling like I was doing more what was pleasing me instead of like, okay, everybody's doing this, so I need to try it that way. And so to me, that was a success.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big one because so many artists, we have these ideas about what is the correct way to do something or the correct way to make something. You have to do it this way. You have to do it that way. And we forget that it's something that we ourselves are making, and we can do it the way that we want, and that if it's something that makes us happy, then that's what's.
Well, and it's experimenting too, okay, you may want to try something and then be sorry you did, but you may be so surprised.
Yeah.
Pleased with the results.
Yeah, that's so
and the
true.
only way to find out is if you're going to allow yourself that freedom to try.
Yeah, that's a really great point. So on that, what kind of advice would you give someone who are, thinking about exploring, making things that they've seen and they want to try it too? What kind of advice would you give?
It's okay to step outside the box, And I mean, as I remember somebody saying, it's just paint.
Oh, yeah.
And if once you realize that if you don't like it, you can paint over it.
What's so inspiring to me, Kris, about you and your work and your journey is that you started later on, and then you were like, something in you kind of lit up and was like, I want to look into that. I want to try that. I want to explore that a little bit more. And that little spark just kept building and you kept going and exploring it more. I think that's absolutely beautiful and just such an inspiring sort of journey that you've been on.
Well, I was 63 when I started.
Yeah.
So you're never too old. It's never too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like to say is that it is messy. In fact, I was working this morning and I've got stain on my fingers. I've really tried very hard to get off, but it just hasn't. But it's messy. But you know what? I enjoy the cleanup just as much because restoring it back to where then now I'm ready to go again.
Yeah.
No.
There's nothing like having a nice clean space to mess up again.
Well, and so, but I have a hard time every time I go in my studio, then I'm thinking I really should just clean and organize again. But then I get up there and I just want to paint. Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, it is. It is fun.
So
everybody to enjoy. I want everybody to feel as tickled about it as I am.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fun.
I think it's wonderful. And so where can we find your artwork? Where can we find you and your work?
Well, I'm on Instagram. I have a Facebook page, and I do have a website that is needing some attention on my list.
I think a lot of artists that's on their list.
Monet comes to mind only because I've always just loved the colors, the movement in his work. It's always soft and kind of gentle and appealing to me. Joanna Littleton. Yeah. I like her work. Simon Bolt. I like movement in art. Yeah. Gentle movement. I was 63. I'm 69. I'm having the time of my life. Yeah. If anybody would have ever told me that I would have been doing this at this age, I would have told them, you're talking to the wrong person. I think that this is a really cool thing that you're doing.
Yeah, I have so much fun. I just love talking to everyone about the things that they're making, and it's just so interesting. And sometimes I'll learn about something new and think, well, I want to try that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's encouraging when you hear something and you go, "Oh, I didn't know anything about that." I mean, there's so much I don't know.
With anything, it's like that. I have learned so much just by chatting away with different artists of all the little things, and I get fascinated. I think my problem is then I want to try all of it. Well, I absolutely love all the work that you're doing, and I'm so inspired by you, and it has been such a joy to talk to you today and get to know more about your process and all of the things that you're exploring. I have just had the best time talking with you. So thank
I've
you
really
so
enjoyed
much.
it. I was really looking forward to this because I do feel a connection. There's a connection with you, and I like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for listening to Art Talk with April. New episodes are out Tuesday at 6 p.m.